G'day, my name's Andrew. Today I'm going to show you the cable testing device that I had a large part in developing for Precision Technology. So as you can see here, the device is right in front of us. The first thing we need to do is make sure that we connect the device harness into the device for the correct cable type. So here we've got a harness. You can see here it's got lots of plugs on it, and these blue plugs get plugged into the actual device themselves. And we need to make sure that we're putting in the right plugs into the right one there. See, we've got P3. You can see this one's labelled, so we make sure that we put them all in the right locations, and then we go from there. So I'll just plug that in now. I'll pause the video. So now that we've got the device securely plugged into the harness, next thing we do is get the cable that we need to test. So here's the AC 6200 cable. What we need to do is plug it into the harness over here, making sure that we get the right plugs in the right locations. So if we have a look at one of these plugs here, so you can notice that this one's labelled valve, and on the actual device, it's the cable itself, we've got another one labelled valve. So as long as we match them up to the right locations, plug them all in, that's the next step. So I'll pause it here. So as you can see there, we've plugged in the cable into its harness securely into all the correct plug locations, and that the harness is also securely plugged into the cable testing device. So now we need to plug it in to a computer. Alright, and you can see that we are actually connected with that blue flashing light. Okay, so now I'm going to open up the program on the computer and open up the user interface that I developed on C#. So we just open up the program here, drag it in the frame so we can see it. As you can see here, the green text indicates that we've connected. We have an auto connect feature here which should automatically detect the device and connect to it. Alternatively, you can disable that and choose the correct port manually. So the next step now is to select the type of cable from this drop down list here. Now the type of cable we're testing today is the AC 6200, so I'll select that, and then all we need to do is to start the test. And as you can see there, it progresses through the tests line by line, and we can pause the test, and then we can step through one by one if we want to. Just if we find a fault, this is useful for figuring out where the problems lie, and we can just resume and keep going like that. So as you notice there, we've got a pass test, and you'll see on the actual device itself that green light came up as well, indicating we passed the test. Also too, when you open the file, you'll notice it shows you how many test lines there are. This shows you like each test is testing between 2 pins, so that means it tests 311 different lines there. So I might now introduce a fault intentionally. So what I'll do, I'll disconnect one of these plugs here. So I might disconnect B5 there. Okay, and then do another test. So I'll pull that out. It's a bit tricky with one hand, but there we go. Pull that out. And got the cable tester there. So now I'll do the test one more time with one of them unplugged, and we'll see what happens. So we start it there, and we got a failed test, as you can see there. Now this line here will actually show you where the failure occurred. So on here, it's a connection between plug A1 pin 2, which is either a black or blue wire, and it's trying to link to plug B5, which is a black wire. And it says here that we've got no connection detected here. Alright, now in this location, this part here, we can either cancel the test, resume, or step through. So resume will keep going until it finds another failure. So as you can see, that's the same plug, just each wire in the plug, and we can go through like that. We can also step through line by line if we want to as well, but we'll resume the test, skip through any of the fails that we have. And what actually happens here is all of these failed tests gets put into a log file, and it will display at the end of the test once it's gone through completely. So you can see testing has finished, problems have been found, So now it automatically has opened an error log on a different screen here. I'll just drag that over so we can have a look, and you can see there's a number of failed tests here, and it's just the exact messages that were shown on the cable testing device. So this part here can actually be used to copy and paste into one of the sections in the cable tester to basically send that exact test to it to do that manually. And so we can try that out and see if there's problems with that and try to rectify. But that can be used for manual testing if you want to. Basically, that is done in this section here. You would paste it into this bar here and click on send. And there are other commands I've done for testing just to show you that it will communicate to the device. I'll just send a simple message, hello, and you see there's a response there, hello, as well. You can set it up to repeat send messages over, however many times you want, so you can do that as well. The next section we'll look at here is pin control. Basically, the idea of this section here is that we can enable one of the pins here, which corresponds to the actual cable tester device itself, and it will enable one of those pins, then scan all the rest of the pins to show you what has been energized as a result for you turning that pin on. So if we turn one of these on, you can see that these red squares here is what it's scanned back that has returned. Those ones are on as well as a result of turning this one on. And you can turn on multiple pins and see exactly what's being turned on as a result, and you can click them on and off like this, or you can just click on clear selected like that. So you'll notice here when you turn pins on, you'll see that this here corresponds to what the pattern is in a hexadecimal code, and this one here represents the return pattern for the hexadecimal code. So that's basically how it works. It sets up the SPI in a particular way, and then it will energize a pin and then scan back to make sure it's getting the right one in return. So that's how the messages are actually constructed together. So that's basically the cable testing device in a nutshell. There is another part of this that I could show you on how to create these test files. I've created a program that will do that for us. If you would like to see that, let me know and I can create another video. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the content.